Okay, so.
I'm in a get together. Like there was a book released in Lekha's book cafe only today.
Oh, okay, sir.
So there is a book release, and these people didn't let me go, and they gave me a separate room here.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
So people
so,
have come from.
so we are
Yes.
about to go live.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Sure.
Are you going live, Lekha?
Yes, sir, we are live.
So can we start now?
Ma'am, you can.
We are.
Yes, ma'am.
We are all.
Okay.
We are already
Yeah,
live.
we are live.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
yes, sir, we are live.
So we'll start. Okay. A very good evening. And once again, I would like to take this moment as an opportunity to welcome you all in the Literary Fest 2020, which is organized by the Cafe the Twins in collaboration with Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, Sikkim Manipal University. And now we have a third session for this Literary Fest 2020, which will be a talk on green writing and irreplaceable necessity. Taking it as a great privilege and honor, I would like to introduce our resource person for this third technical session, Mr. Rajaa Puniani. He is a poet, an author, lyricist, translator, actor, and a photographer. He is a postgraduate in management studies. His series poetry, Arkul Lashkar, The Other Caravan, was published in 2013. His eco-poem, Tale of a Numb Planet, has been included as a reference material in a climate change curriculum at the Copenhagen Business School, Hellerød Department, Denmark. He has worked with few Nepali and English dailies, and his work has been featured in dailies, magazines of India and Nepal. He has started multimedia poetry, a new trend in a visual poetry. He worked in Nepali dailies, Abad Dainik, Sambat Patra, Sunchari Samachar, and Hamro Pahar. He is currently working as an assistant professor at Surendra Institute of Engineering and Management, Siliguri. He is also an editor-in-chief called Public Nama. We welcome you, sir. And now I would.
Thank you.
And now I would like to request sir to take over this session, which will be on green writing and irreplaceable necessity.
Okay, thank you, Tenzing. So thank you, Tenzing, for introducing me. I'd like to firstly express my gratitude to Mrs. Lekha Rai for inviting me in this auspicious, enthusiastic LitFest. That is virtual, of course, very rare one. Maybe for the very first time, such kind of virtual LitFest is happening in our region. I'd like to express my heartfelt congratulations to the entire organizers, including Cafe the Twins and Sikkim Manipal University for this organizing this, the very rare kind of LitFest. Because of this pandemic, most of the activities are happening online, virtually. So this is very apt decision making done by the organizers. So I'd like to express my hats off to the organizers, joint organizers. And thank you to all who have joined right now in this session, for spending their time, very valuable time. Maybe, I don't know, I can see from here like how many have joined. Although whoever have joined with me right now, I नमस्कार सबैलाई अनि राजा पुन्यानी तपाईहरुको सामुन्नेमा आएपछि तपाईहरुले सधैँ सायद कविता एक्सपेक्ट गर्नुहुन्छ आज म कवितासँग छुइन I'll be here with a topic. I'm here with a topic, and this topic is a less spoken topic. The topic which is rarely discussed. Some NGOs are there, some clubs are there who are doing some tasks on conservation and saving nature, saving Mother Earth, and all. I'll be, but then I'll try to sum up uh, the entire talk in very lucid manner. I'll try my best to express my views in lucid way. But then I don't know, like whether I'll be able to do justice to this topic, because this topic is very very serious and sensitive topic, green writing. I'll not be able to maybe address to the theories, the literary theories, as well as the ecological theories that are on progress uh, right now. After 1992 Copenhagen Summit, Earth Summit, uh, there might be lots of confusions regarding this topic. Why green writing? Why this topic? And what is this, after all about? I'll try to shed some lights on a few aspects, but this is not possible to sum up the entire things within this small segment of 1 hour. This is small because 1 hour is small, because this is really a vast topic, and I'm not statutory warning. Very initially, I'd like to tell you that I'm not an authority on this subject, but then because of my very deep interest in this topic, I'd love to speak on this topic. And as I'm taking a subject also in my college, there is a curriculum. There is a subject in curriculum wherein like we talk about the professional ethics as well as environmental ethics. So this created a buzz inside my mind. We should um, go ahead with this topic. We should have some idea about this topic, and we should really really genuinely think about this topic. So I started thinking on this topic since I started teaching in Surendra Institute of Engineering and Management, wherein I take one of the papers. One of the papers that I take is professional ethics, wherein like this topic has hit me since I started taking classes from 2013. So there are lots many angles, lots many perspectives on eco writing, that is green writing, and lots of debates are there, lots of differences are there. So I'd not like to go to these aspects, although these are also important. But then I'll try to sum up. I'll try to discuss a few points, only a few points, which are important for us, and I'd like to basically address from my region, wherein like I stay. My place, my house is in Sukna, which is a jungle forest village, and it's a small hamlet within the district of Darjeeling. And the writing that we do out here is known as the Darjeeling literature, Darjeeling Gay literature, and the literature of Darjeeling Sikkim, literature of Himalayan region, literature of Indian Nepali literature. So herein, like we can see lots of movements, literary movements were there, starting from Dan Khaling, Daniel Khaling, and your Birendra Subba and Narbahadur Dahal. These legends, they started writing since just nearby the independence. They started writing the poems, the fictions on basically the romanticism. They, whatever writing they carried on were based on romantic literary trend, and they were the pioneers in the field of romanticism in Nepali writing. And later on, big thrust was given in Nepali literature, and that thrust was, so impactful that the entire Nepali literature had a huge paradigm shift, and that thrust was given by the third dimension movement in Nepali writing. Of course, they were influenced by Picasso's legendary Picasso's Cubist movement in art. So they tried to implement this. They emphasized that whatever writing they were doing was flat enough, and they have to go for depth in writing. They were searching for the third dimension. That's why it was named as third dimension. In Nepal, it was known as Tesro Ayam Ko Andolan. So, of course, they were talking about the flat writing, and they were not satisfied with the flat writing. Whatever flat writing they were referred was the romantic writing, of course, which was started by Birendra Subba and Narbahadur Dahal and Dan Khaling and etc. etc. Lots of writers were there that time. Basically, whatever they did was like they wrote about the nature, of course, and of course, nature has been the subject matter for classicist writing. Classicism and naturalism were all focused on writing on nature. So gradually, Tesro Ayam broke this path. They chose to write about the mundane subjects from society, and they chose to write very categorically and very boldly about the day-to-day life, wherein you can take, for example, the writing. One of the there were there were three vanguards of Tesro Ayam movement, literary movement. One of them was Indra Bahadur Rai. Another personality was Bairagi Kaila, Aka Tilvikram Nembang. Then thirdly, it is Ishwar Ballabh, legendary Ishwar Ballabh. Both of them belonged to Nepal, and from India, it was uh, the only legendary personality, Indra Bahadur Rai. These three personalities, these three literary personalities, they started this writing movement, this Raya. Indra Bahadur Rai wrote one of the stories, short stories, which is known as Euta Dinko Samanyata. This Euta Dinko Samanyata, this story is all about the generalization of a day, like what does individuals do in an entire day, very mundane subjects. So they started writing such kind of they started writing on such kind of subject materials. So the writing shifted from nature to society, nature to human being, nature to the persons, nature to the human. So slowly, then came in Darjeeling's Nepali literature. Then came the writings like Sankraman Lekhan. Then came in 1990s, Sankraman Lekhan came, which is also regarded as one of the postmodernist approach in writing. Then comes Bichalan, which is also regarded as one of the postmodernist writing, which was headed by Sudhir Chetri, Sanjay Vista, Keval Chandra Lama, Remika Thapa, and all. And then came uh, Kinari Karan, which talked about basically the marginalization of the human, the marginalized human. Basically, they referred to the conflict between the central and the periphery, central existence in the periphery, and in periphery they took the peoples who are hitherto exist, who are hitherto marginalized. So then came Hastakshep, which was one of the movements, literary movements, uh, which highlighted about the exploited people, exploited strata of the society, who were who have been till now programmed by the system. Their entire consciousness has been programmed by the system to think in certain manner in which the system would like to advise and would like to you know in some sort the system would like to you know uh, dictate. So Hastakshepi writers, they proposed that hitherto existing society has been dominated by the satta, that is power, and power tries to even design your thinking pattern. And this designing should be, if it is taken as a programming, so if this programming if it is taken as a virus, then you need antivirus software. So this antivirus software should be uh, such a software which intervenes, which interferes uh, inside the existing software, existing programming, and this antivirus software should be the software which writes the coding, which writes the programming of the common man's language, common man's aspirations, common man's dreams, and common man's aspirations as well as common man's wishes. And that wish is nothing but the wish to be emancipated. So they propagated this movement in writing, and they started writing in this line. And then came Samaveshi movement. Samaveshi movement has got a stand that they will go for Samavesh of almost all the spheres of vichars, thoughts, and ideas and philosophies. This Samaveshi movement is still going on. Today itself, there was a book release in Cafe the Twins in Salbari, the host of today's LitFest. One book was released by one of the Samaveshi writers, Mr. Basudev Pulami. So this is how the entire chronology of the Darjeeling's literature, the Darjeeling's literary world goes on, wherein we can see one of the figures. Before that, I'd like to refer to one of the books in Nepali literature. The name of that book is Ritu Bichar by Leknath Paudhyal. This is the only book, I think, which is written entirely on nature. Uh, praising the nature, praising the beauty of the nature, and talking about the various aspects of ritus. What is ritu? Ritu is season. So he talked about Leknath Paudhyal was a legendary poet who talked about the various seasons of a year in poetic manner. He did a poetic justice. These poems are very beautifully written and written on various ritus, starting from Basanta Ritu to Shishir Ritu to Sarad Ritu and all. But then, what is the issue is like these poems and these writings, these and later on, all the poets who wrote about, all the story writers who wrote about the nature, they focused only on the beauty of the nature that is there intact. Of course, like nature is, there is no any alternative to the beauty of the nature. Like there can be nothing as much beautiful as nature. Of course, everybody accepts this fact, and this beauty of nature is such that anybody, even a cruel kind of person, even a criminal will say, ah, wow, such a lovely sunrise, wow, such a lovely sunset, wow, such a lovely flower, wow, such a lovely tiger, wow, such a lovely squirrel, wow, such a lovely bee, wow, such a lovely butterfly. They were talking about lovely, lovely, lovely. You wrote lots about nature in this way. Now it's enough. Why? Because we are slowly killing this mother nature, mother planet. And you will be writing all these sentences only because you are able to write. What if your pen is raked in such a way that you could not write anything else? What if the paper that you are using to write, which is made up of trees, fibar, what if, like, I'm sorry, there is a hole. What if you're not able to, if you're not able to write anything else, because everywhere there is debris, because everywhere there is, devastation. There is
Excuse me,
everywhere.
sorry to interrupt you, but we are not able to see you, sir. I guess.
Okay, there might be some problem.
Mm.
Okay, I'm checking this.
Yes.
Till now, everything was
Yeah,
okay.
yes, it was fine only. But
Okay, I'm checking. Fine. Am I
yes, sir,
visible
fine.
now?
Yeah, yeah, sir.
Fine. Thank you
You're
very
very
much.
much visible. Thank
Thank
you.
you for the advice. So what I was telling about is that, like, till now you only wrote about the beauty of the nature. You were so much, into expressing the beauty of the about the beauty of the nature. But then what about the devastations that you are, inviting? What about the, destruction that you are inviting? And of course, the beauty should be appreciated, and literature is there for, appreciating beauty, and literature is there for, describing about all the aspects of beauty, of course. But then what if there is no any tree tomorrow in front of you? I might be joking. It might be, uh, you know it might seem so that I'm throwing a joke in front of you, but then it's a reality. I'm not at all joking with you. I'm not at all kidding with you. At this age, I can behave like a kid. I'm talking truth, and I'm talking facts. So uh, there are too many things to be discussed, but then I don't know how to, like, I'm very poor in, managing the thoughts. Although I'll try to manage the thoughts in a certain manner. So whatever I'm trying to tell is, like, of course, beauty of the nature should be appreciated, and beauty of the nature should be, of course, uh, you know uh, you know archived in your writing. But then, after all, nature is the ultimate source of your energy, ultimate source of your power, ultimate source of your writing, and ultimate source even of your existence. If whatever source in which your existence is sourced, that source is not at all there in front of you, what will you do? Where will your books go? Where will your pens go? Where will your mobile phones go? Whichever you are using right now, you are able to see me only through your mobile phones, and you are able to see only because your mobile phone is recharged and charged. You have charged your mobile phone with help of power, and that power is coming from the river. What if all these rivers are dried up? And these are going to dry up slowly. The most of the Indian rivers and even the rivers of the world are slowly drying up. And this is not a matter of joke. You please do Google. Please do a research in Google. How many rivers of the world have been dried up? What about your Tista, which is just nearby you, which is inside the, which flows from Darjeeling as well as which flows from Sikkim as well as Darjeeling? What about Tista? Our huge power project is going on in Tista in, in proper, you know, agreement with the government of Sikkim and government of Bengal, with a venture which is NHPC. This project is going on. And furthermore, please beware of me. I might be talking politics today. Of course, the topic is the topic of literature, but then you can't, bear you, because everything you do is politics. Politics is not only about raising a slogan, raising a zhanda, and uh, pressing the voting machine, whatever. So whatever I'm trying to tell is, you see, we have killed Tista. Tista is no more the Tista that you would be seeing before 10 years. Some of the tourists even might be bamboozled to see Tista being turned into a huge water reservoir. What have we done? Were you short of power? Uh, you really wanted the Tista to be a water reservoir? Who wanted this? This is a huge question that I am leaving to you. Who converted Tista into a pokhari, a huge pokhari? What about the Panch Pokhari? There are too many Panch Pokharis in our places. Like, this is even a part of our cultural heritage, cultural folklore, cultural life. We have got so many Panch Pokharis. Even there is a Panch Pokhari in maybe nearby Namchi. Tenzing, if I'm not wrong. Tenzing, are you there? Tenzing Doma, are you
Yes,
there?
sir. Yes, sir. I'm
My
here.
dear
only.
host.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you refer to the exact place wherein, like, Panch Pokhari is there in Sikkim, maybe? If I'm
What,
not
sir?
wrong.
So yes, sir.
Panch Pokhari is there in Sikkim, if I'm not wrong.
So I'm not so much aware about it, sir.
You're from Sikkim, na?
Yes, I'm from Sikkim only, but I haven't heard about this Pach Pokori, sir.
Panch Pokhari is in Namchi. त्यो अहिले त्यहाँ सामदुर्चेको बनाएको छ नि,
Yes,
सामदुर्चे.
yes, yes, yes. Samdukche.
Yeah, त्यसको छेउमा पाँच पोखरी छ. Please check it.
Okay,
Right.
sir. But like till now, whatever we have heard, like we have visited Samdukche many times, but it is for me also the first time I'm hearing it. So thank you so much, sir. Because like Pach Pokori banera testo. Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
there's a
In
little
fact,
bit of.
it is just nearby Samdurche only. Nearby.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Right. So त्यही पाँच पोखरी नाममा चाहिँ हाम्रो यहाँ तपाईँको इट्स इन नामथिङ जस्ट नियरबाई नामथिङ लेक देयर इज पाँच पोखरी. So these are all
Okay, sir.
pokeries, like collection of ponds. These are all dried up, and even some of the rivers are there only in by their names. Like if you go physically to check it, there is no any river at all. So this is so. And not only about rivers, like after the NHPC project, it was found that one fact-finding committee visited NHPC while it was just started. This project was just started in 1990s. That fact-finding committee found very drastically, the report is very dangerous. They found that a number of species of birds as well as plants are going to be extinct once this project is over. Lots many species, including the plants as well as the birds specifically. So I asked myself like several times while I crossed this. The last time I was going to Kalimpong in last week. What I see is like the water is flowing through the road, National Highway 10, and this is not the month of July. I'm visiting. I'm visiting in the month of this is November. So it's the winter time, and the water is overflowing through the road, high road, National Highway. What is this happening? And what are we doing to our nature? What are we doing to our roads? What are we doing to our trees? What are we doing to our soil? This question spoke me till I reached Kalimpong. And when I returned back, I see the same pathetic condition of the road. So what is this? Why is this happening? I asked to myself. I was referring to the green writing itself. So I was talking about the various trends that came in Darjeeling's Nepali writing. Then one legendary writer who is Manprasad Subba, he wrote one book. The name of that book is Ritu Canvas. This Ritu Canvas is such a book which might be taken as a reloaded version of Ritu Bichar by Leknath Pauyar. But then this is altogether different book. This book is of course an anthology of poems, series poems on various ritus itself. But then this book completely experiences a paradigm shift, a metamorphosis, wherein like the author, the poet takes you to very, very, a real ground of your reality, wherein like he tries to personifies, he gives the metaphors in such a way that you are, in the, you're of course reading about the Ritu, but then you are reading about the human society, wherein like, lots of devastations are occurring in front of your eyes, and lots of devastations are yet to come, and they are waiting for you. So, Manprasad Subba can be credited as one of the authors, one of the poets of our times, who has addressed to the, subject of nature in such a way, in which like he has got a realist approach, wherein like whatever is happening in front of you, he is trying to express those through his poems. So I'd like to refer to right now one of the initiatives taken by Italy in 1968. Aurelio Peccei and Alexander King. These two guys, they started one club in Rome. They were from Italy. They started a club. The name of the club is still it is there. The name of the club is Club of Rome. It was founded in 1968, and Aurelio Peccei was a businessman, and Alexander King was a businessman, and Aurelio Peccei was a mathematician, scientist, as far as I remember. They started this club, the Club of Rome, just thinking that they have to do something for the mother nature, and the human society is doing whatever the society is liking to do, just like a blind, you know, society. And in the name of the development, whatever they are doing is really, really a disaster. So they formed a club and they invited the mathematicians, the economists, the politicians, the bureaucrats, the statesmen, the writers, and they started a project to do a survey of whatever we have did to the earth till now. They took the help of MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and they did research. They did a survey which elongated for 4 years, and they came up with the first report, and the report came in 1972. 1968 was the year in which Club of Rome was formed, and 1972 was the year when the first report came. The name of the report was The Limits to Growth. Just see the name of the report. The limits to growth. Whatever growth you are doing, you should put limit. You should put break on this. So this report was deliberately named in this way, the limits to growth. So this report, this survey, whatever survey was started in the year 1968 at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, taking Meadows model as one of the mathematical models, tested models, mathematical models, of course, but then this mathematical model was simulation, computer simulation model based on the theories of mathematics and statistics, of course. And this model was used for this research, and 5 factors were taken. One of the factors is resources. Please, you can note down this in your minds. You can bone in your mind. One of the factors is natural resources. Second factor is population. Third factor is pollution. Fourth factor is industrial output per capita. And fifth factor is foods per capita. So these 5 factors were taken for this study, for this survey, whatever we have did to our Earth till now. And they started the survey. They started collecting data from 1960 stores onwards till 2050. They did the projection till 2050. So when the first report came, the entire world was shocked to see the report. The report was really, really shocking. It was really, really negative. It was really, really, awesome. Everybody was in shock and awe after seeing this report. This report, you can just refer to Google after I finish my talk. You can, even right now, you can browse Google and type simply the first report of Club of Rome or simply limits to growth report. You will see a graph wherein like there will be 5 curves. All the curves will be coming to the they'll be culminating to x-axis. That means that all the values for y-axis will be 0 at certain point of x-axis, and that point is nothing but 2050. That means by 2050 the entire world, like population, pollution, foods per capita, industrial output per capita, resources, everything will come to 0. And this is not my version. Please check it in Google. Even you can even refer to the site of Club of Rome. So everything is coming to a standstill. Everything is coming to 0, ground 0. So what will happen to your car? What will happen to your building? What will happen to your house? What will happen to your cafe? What will happen to your restaurant? What will happen to your factory? What will happen to you if you still survive till 2050? But then even if you are not still surviving till 2050, what will happen to your kids? whom you love just like anything else. What will be their days? What will be the face of their days? So you might be bamboozled, like what the hell Raja Punyan is talking about. He was supposed to talk about green writing, but then this is the basis of the green writing, wherein like I have not still started. Uh, right now, my mobile clock shows it is 8:37. I'll talk only for 10 to 15 minutes right now. So, and then I would like to refer to one more instance. UNO, United Nations of Organizations, uh, they sent E.F. Shoemaker. He was a British economist, very renowned British economist. Some of you might have heard about him. E.F. Shoemaker. He was sent to one of the samples of the underdeveloped countries. It was taken as Myanmar. The sample was taken as Myanmar. Myanmar was taken as a sample rather. And he was sent to Myanmar in the year 1955. Please note down the years also. You can note down the years also. You can cross check in Google later on. And E.F. Sumikar was born in the year 1911. Very interesting. 1911 he was born, 1111. 1955, 5555. He was sent to Myanmar. 1977 he died, 7777. And he returned to UK after 6 to 7 years of research in Myanmar. He adopted Buddhism there in Myanmar. So UNO has spent lakhs of rupees to this project. So UNO will be in a expectation that E.F. Sumaker will come back and he will come up with the report which is conducive to the developed nations, because UNO is after all run by the developed nations. So, in fact, the research motive was to send E.F. Shoemaker to Myanmar. The research motive of this project was to check whether the technology transfer, there is a term which is known as technology transfer or transfer of technology, which means transferring the technology from the developed nations to the to the underdeveloped and growing nations and the developing nations as well, of course. So they wanted to see what is the impact of this technology transfer in these growing, economically growing underdeveloped and developing nations, whether it is okay and whether we should go for technology transfer further. But then E.F. Shoemaker bashed at them. He told that whatever you're doing to these underdeveloped nations, wherein the natural resources is still intact, what are you doing? What the hell you are doing to these countries? You should not do this. So he told that he came up with, of course, a project report, statistically corrected, and he told that whatever you're doing is not fine. You're killing the nature out there. So he wrote a book. That book was sold for millions of copies. The name of that book is Small is Beautiful, and he propagated one idea in that particular book. The name of that idea is intermediate technology, or sometimes it is also known as alternative technology, wherein he proposes that, of course, like you cannot reject the idea of technology, you cannot reject the idea of luxurious life. Of course, you cannot imagine right now the world without technology, of course, but then he propagated the idea that you should not compromise with nature. It should not be at the cost of nature. So he propagated an idea that you should go in between, the intermediate technology. That's why it is named as intermediate technology. That the technology should be of small scale. Don't go for the macro. He always opposed the idea of macro technology, macro life, and all. Even this matches with the idea of postmodernism, wherein like micro narrative took place as a very vibrant idea. Wherein like you should go for, like, even if you're creating a dam, you should go for small dams, multiple dams, so that you can even generate employability. And mind it, employment generation is the huge challenge even for the biggest country like America today. And this is the crisis. This is the issue in almost all the countries today. Employment generation. Then the idea of promoting local technology, because the people who are tribal, like these tribal people, these indigenous people, they have developed their own tools which is too eco-friendly. You are talking today in engineering studies about eco-friendly technology, but then these people were already eco-friendly since the ages. Whatever technology they have developed for farming, agriculture, for fishing, their tools are really, so marvelous The tools are so smart that their tools damage the nature too less. Like whatever damage you're doing by your technology today, in comparison to this, whatever damage they are doing to the nature with the tools, the indigenous tools, it's too less, too negligible. So he talked about that. Promote local technology, promote indigenous people, promote indigenous technology, promote indigenous culture. And this is what was the core of his idea, which is known as alternative technology. So the issue is, uh, so what the writers will do. Let me come back to the, although so many things are there to be told. Of course, I would like to mention to one thing. Then I'll come to the nutshell. And I'll of course, Tenzing, are you there? Tenzing, are you there?
Sir. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
fine.
here
So
only.
I'm about maybe some interactions are there from our audience's side. Maybe not.
So right now there is no any such
Okay,
questions
fine.
as of now. Yes, sir.
Maybe fine. Okay, fine. So
But it's going interesting, very interesting. So
thank you very much. Thank you.
we are
Uh,
looking forward to it, sir.
okay, fine, fine. But then it's very tough to summarize all these things within this. Fine. Anyways, I'm trying to do it. So I'll try to maintain the timing given by Lekha ma'am.
Yes,
So
sir. Sure, sir.
I'll be summing up within 5 minutes, 5 to 8
Yes,
minutes.
sir.
I don't know,
Sure,
like
sir.
I don't
Sure, sir.
know how much time it will be
Yes, sir.
taken by
Sure.
this concern. So whatever I'm trying to before coming to the conclusion, I'd like to come to conclusion. Before concluding, I'd like to refer to one more very dangerous developments. That is, 1992 is the year in which the very first Earth Summit occurred in Rio de Janeiro. Lots of big talks were there by the big countries like America, UK, Japan, and all. There is, of course, please note down one term which is known as climate politics. And even please note down one term. I'm sorry, like I'm acting like a teacher. यो चाहिँ हेबिट हो, अब के गर्नु, क्लास लिनलाई त्यस्तै भयो। तर तपाईँहरूले आफै रिसर्च गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ भनेको नि मैले तपाईँहरूलाई पढाएको होइन है। यो टर्म्सहरू हामीले सिक्नुपर्ने रहेछ। यो चिजहरू भइरहेको रहेछ, तर मिडियालाई चाहिँ दबाउनु भनेको छ है। एकदम फ्रेङ्कली भनेको, यो चिजहरू भइरहेको छ, मिडियाले यसलाई क्यारी गरेकै छैन, तपाईँले पाउनै हुँदैन मिडियामा है। एउटा टर्म हो क्लाइमेट पोलिटिक्स। क्लाइमेट पोलिटिक्स चाहिँ आज वेस्टको कतिवटा कन्ट्रिजहरूले पढाउनु थाल्यो युनिभर्सिटिजमा, कलेजेसमा। तर युनिभर्सिटी र कलेजमा पढाएर मात्रै हुँदैन, त्यहाँ चाहिँ म लास्टली आएर मेरो कुरालाई सक्छु। अनि क्लाइमेट पोलिटिक्स सँगसँगै भयङ्कर डरलाग्दो चिज आज भइरहेको रहेछ। आज यदि थर्ड वर्ल्ड वार भयो भने चाहिँ त्यो वर्ल्ड वार चाहिँ तपाईँको त्यो वर्ल्ड वार चाहिँ आर्म्स एन्ड एम्युनिसन्सले हुँदैन, कि चाहिँ इन्फर्मेसन टेक्नोलोजीले हुन्छ, कि चाहिँ आइटीको वार हुन्छ, कि चाहिँ डेटाको वार हुन्छ, कि चाहिँ कार्बनको वार हुन्छ, अथवा वाटरको वार हुन्छ। हेर्नुहोस्, संसारमा आज सबैभन्दा ठुलो कुरा पानी भइदियो, अनि संसारमा आज सबैभन्दा ठुलो कुरा कार्बन भइदियो। किनभने कार्बन चाहिँ यस्तो एलिमेन्ट हो जुन एलिमेन्टसँग चाहिँ एउटा मात्र एउटा युनिक फिचर छ। त्यसको केमिकल क्यारेक्टरिस्टिक के छ भन्दाखेरि क्याटेनेसन भन्छ जसलाई। इट इज नोन एज क्याटेनेसन। इट क्यान रेप्लिकेट इन्टु इन्युमरेबल कम्पाउन्ड्स if it is interacted with, if it involves into chemical reaction in organic chemistry. There is a term which is known as catenation. The catenation को चाहिँ यस्तो property हो कि लाइक त्यो propertyले चाहिँ यसलाई कार्बनलाई चाहिँ लाख crores arabs of compoundsमा यसलाई चाहिँ रेप्लिका गरिदिन्छ है। अनि जस्तो कि तपाईँको वरिपरि जे छ सबै कार्बन हो। यो मोबाइल फोन पनि कार्बन बिना हुँदैन है। जे पनि मतलब तपाईँको अगाडि जे पनि छ, टिभी छ होइन, जे पनि छ, र हाम्रो शरीरमा पनि कार्बनै कार्बन छ। अलमोस्ट 60% कार्बन छ। त्यही भएर हाम्रो लास जलाउँदाखेरि लास चाहिँ कालो हुन्छ क्या। तपाईँले लास जलाएको हेर्नुहोस् क्या, एकदम कालो लास देख्नुहुन्छ है। त्यो ब्युटिफुल हुन्छ त्यो लासको। कस्तो डेन्जरस कुरा गरेँ है मैले। तर त्यही चिज हामीले फेस गर्नेवाला छौँ 2050मा। त्योभन्दा अगाडि पनि होला सायद। हिमाचल प्रदेशको रिसेन्ट क्लाउड बस्ट सम्झिनुहोस्, जहाँनिर चाहिँ हजारौँ मान्छे मर्यो नदीले डुबाएर। अचानक यो राज्य डल्लै डुब्यो होइन। यो जुन चाहिँ सिफ्टिङ नेचर अफ यो जुन चाहिँ रेनफल छ, सिफ्टिङ नेचर अफ, अब कोही बेला डिसेम्बरमा अचानक पानी परिदिन्छ, तपाईँ छक्कै पर्नुहुन्छ। कोही बेला हिउँ अगाडि परिदिन्छ होइन। यो हुनु थाल्यो। यस्तो अचम्म तपाईँ नमान्नुहोस् कि तपाईँको बर्थडे जुलाईमा, मेरो माई बर्थडे जुलाई 12, जहिले पनि गरम भइरहेको हुन्छ. what if like if snowfall is there in 12th July? What if? हुनै सक्छ यो. Ice is, it's not a matter of joke, it is scientifically proven fact. हैन? त यो जुन चाहिँ छ त्यो रियो डी जेनेरियोमा 1992 मा, लेट्स कम ब्याक टु द्याट पोइन्ट. 1992 मा रियो डी जेनेरियोमा जुन चाहिँ अर्थ समिट भयो, ठुल्ठुलो देशहरूले होइन, दादा देशहरूले त्यो अर्थ समिट गर्यो र गरेर भने कि हामीले बहुत कार्बन चाहिँ छोड्यौँ, कार्बन रिलिज बेसी भयो, यसलाई कन्ट्रोल गरौँ अनि हामी नेचरलाई बचाउँ. र 1986 मा एउटा कमिसन बस्यो. त्यो कमिसनको नाम हो ब्रन्ट ल्यान्ड कमिसन, जुन कमिसनले चाहिँ एउटा कन्सेप्ट दियो. त्यो कन्सेप्ट अहिले एकदम क्याचवर्ड भएको छ एनजिओजहरूको, गभर्मेन्टहरूको, तर उनीहरूले कति गर्छ मलाई थाहा छैन. त्यो कन्सेप्ट, त्यो क्याचवर्डको नाम चाहिँ हो सस्टेनेबल डेभलपमेन्ट. आमा गरी खाने बाटो पनि भयो सस्टेनेबल डेभलपमेन्ट कति एनजिओजको लागि. तर रियली यो सस्टेनेबल डेभलपमेन्ट के साँच्चै नै हामीले यो गर्दैछौँ त? र यो कन्ट्रिज जुन चाहिँ लिडिङ कन्ट्रिजहरू, जुन चाहिँ पावरफुल नेसन्सहरू हो, के उनीहरूले मान्दैछन् त सस्टेनेबल डेभलपमेन्टको कन्सेप्टलाई? मानेका छैन. 1992 मा फर्स्ट अर्थ समिट भएपछि जुन चाहिँ सस्टेनेबल डेभलपमेन्टको कन्सेप्टलाई उनीहरूले मान्ने भने, अनि सिग्नेटोरी कन्ट्रिज अथवा जो एग्रिमेन्टमा जुन कन्ट्रिजहरूले, त्यो कन्ट्रिजहरूले चाहिँ मान्नुपर्ने थियो कि कार्बन रिलिजलाई म यति चाहिँ म यसलाई चाहिँ कन्ट्रोल गर्छु हामी, र हामी नेचुरल रिसोर्सहरूलाई यसरी चाहिँ हामी बढावा दिन्छौँ र हामी प्रोटेक्ट गर्छौँ, अनि हामी रिभर्सहरूलाई प्रोटेक्ट गर्छौँ भनेर जुन चाहिँ कमिटमेन्ट्सहरूमा चाहिँ उनीहरूले साइन गर्यो, त्यो कमिटमेन्ट्स आज त्यही ठुलो कन्ट्रीहरूले पुरा गरेन. हामी भारत अहिले पनि नो इस्युज, बङ्गलादेश नो इस्युज, नेपाल नो इस्युज. तर अब एकपल्ट हाँसउठ्दो एउटा कुरा गरौँ, इन्डियाको त्यो मतलब कार्बन रिलिजको पनि एउटा क्याटेगोरी हुन्छ कि कुन कन्ट्रीले कति छोड्यो. त्यसमा सबभन्दा हाइएस्ट लेभलमा चाइना छ, त्यसपछि अमेरिकाहरू छ, इन्डिया 7 कि 8 नम्बरमा छ. रिसेन्ट अहिले कति छ मैले चेक गरेको छैन, यु क्यान चेक इन गुगल. त त्यो कार्बन रिलिज चाहिँ इन्डियाले पुरा गर्यो भनेर एकपल्ट पुरा चाहिँ नि कुरा भएछ. र ठुल्ठुलो कन्ट्रीहरूले के भनेछ भने, देयर इज समथिङ विच इज नोन एज गोइठा, त्यो गोबरको गुइठा जलाएर चाहिँ कार्बन रिलिज पुरा भयो भने क्या. आज एउटा नागाल्यान्डमा एउटा फार्मिङको एउटा टेक्नोलोजी छ जुन चाहिँ इन्डिजिनियस टेक्नोलोजी अफ फार्मिङ हो. जुन चाहिँ टेक्नोलोजीमा चाहिँ के गर्छ भने त्यो रुखपातहरूलाई चाहिँ जलाउँछ. कुनै पनि एउटा एरियामा खेतीपाती गर्नु अगाडि त्यो एरिया जब उनीहरूले चाहिँ अब अलिकति त्यसमा लोक विश्वासको कुरा पनि हो, त्यो एरियालाई चाहिँ पवित्र बनाउनुको लागि उनीहरूले त्यसलाई जलाउँछ. तर खासमा साइन्टिफिकली यो चाहिँ प्रुभ भयो कि त्यो एरियालाई जलाउनुको मतलब चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि, यु आर गिभिङ अ न्यू लाइफ टु द्याट सोइल, बिकज लाइक फर 3 to 4 to 5 years दे नट डु फार्मिङ इन द्याट पर्टिकुलर एरिया. त्यो जुन एरियामालाई उनीहरूले दे बर्न्ड, and they will do one more agricultural activity after 4 to 5 years. त्यसो हुँदा चाहिँ त्यो बिचमा चाहिँ पुरै त्यहाँ इकोलोजिकल रिसाइक्लिङ भइसकेको हुन्छ. जुन चाहिँ सस्टेनेबल डेभलपमेन्टको वान अफ द कन्सेप्ट हो रिड्युस, रिसाइकल एन्ड रियुज एन्ड रिसाइकल. त्यो चिजलाई चाहिँ उनीहरूले नागाल्यान्डको हाम्रो दाजुभाइहरूले चाहिँ उहिलेदेखि उनीहरू बिटेक पनि गरेको छैन, एमबिएम गरेको छैन, एमएससी पनि गरेको छैन, पिएचडी पनि गरेको छैन. तपाईँ हामी जस्तो त मैले पनि पिएचडी गरेको छुइनँ. उनीहरूले उहिले नै त्यो चिज बुझ्यो कि कसरी चाहिँ नेचरलाई यो गर्नु. दे वर सो इन्टेलिजेन्ट. र उनीहरूको त्यो टेक्निकलाई चाहिँ कतिवटा केसेस भएछ कि तिनीहरूले चाहिँ पल्युसन गर्दैछ भनेर. इट्स भेरी इलोजिकल. दे आर टु साइन्टिफिक एन्ड दिस इज वाट इएफ सुमेकर एडभोकेटेड फर. अनि मेरो अब निचोडको कुरामा म आउँछु. मैले अलिकति बेसी समय लिएँ होला तपाईँहरूको, आइ एम सरी फर द्याट. सो मेरो निचोडको कुरा हो कि हामीले जुन राइटिङ गर्दैछौँ यसमा ठिक छ, पोलिटिक्सको कुरा आयो, यसमा मैले थुप्रै कुराहरू छोड्नु पऱ्यो है. आई एम नट स्योर वेदर आई वाज एबल टु कम्युनिकेट विथ यु इन प्रपर म्यानर, वेदर आई वाज एबल टु एक्सप्रेस माइसेल्फ प्रपरली, एन्ड वेदर आई वाज एबल टु पुट डाउन माई आइडियाज इन प्रपर म्यानर. अल्दो मेरो कुरा चाहिँ हो कि लाइक वाट एभर राइटिङ वी आर डुइङ, इट्स ओके. लाइक यु आर राइटिङ अगेन्स्ट द सिस्टम, यु आर राइटिङ अगेन्स्ट the double standard of the system, double standard of the peoples. You are writing about the hypocrisy, you are writing about the contradictions, inter contradictions, and you're writing about the dissimilarities, you're writing about the inequalities in the society, you're writing about the undemocratic system. But the problem lies with the system only, of course, and you have to address this point also right now. And if you don't uh, if you don't take my point seriously, then you might be in problem. I might be in problem. We are on the same boat. Enough we wrote about June हरे घाम हरे यो फुल हरे ठिक छ उनीहरूको सौन्दर्यको बारेमा लेख्छ तर भोलि जुन भोलि गएर यो फुल नै रहेन भने हामी कुन फुलको कविता लेख्ने हामीले कुन प्लान्टको कविता लेख्ने कुन ट्रीको बारेमा लेख्ने कुन ट्रीको हाँगा मुनि बसेर चाहिँ प्रेमी युगल चाहिँ केटा र केटी बसेर चाहिँ उनीहरूले आफ्नो माया गर्दैछ र त्यो मायामाथि कविता लेख्ने माया कहाँ जान्छ तपाईँको फुड्स पर क्यापिटै डाउन भयो 0 भयो 2050 मा तपाईँको पपुलेसनै हराएर गयो तपाईँको पल्युसनको अहिले एन्टी पल्युसन मुभमेन्ट गर्नै पर्छ पल्युसन आफै हराउँछ 2050 मा पल्युसन आफै जान्छ सकिन्छ हैन 2012 भन्ने मुभी तपाईँले हेर्नुहोस् अनि तपाईँले एउटा अवतार भन्ने मुभी हेर्नुहोस् मान्छेको लोभ चाहिँ कहाँ पुग्यो मान्छे कति चाहिँ एग्रेसिभ र कति चाहिँ ग्रिडी भइसक्यो उसले आज यो प्लानेट छोडेर अर्को प्लानेटमा अलरेडी उसले जग्गा खोज्दैछ र इभन मस्कले त अब तपाईको जुनमा पनि जमिनको सौदाबाजी सुरु गर्यो एलन मस्कले त यो अब ह्युमन सोसाइटी कहाँ पुग्यो त कहाँ शिफ्टिङ हुँदैछ आज हामी रोबोटको कुरा गर्दैछौँ एआई आर्टिफिशियल इन्टेलिजेन्सको कुरा गर्दैछौँ वी आर टकिङ अबाउट आर्टिफिशियल इन्टेलिजेन्स तर कसले जन्मायो आर्टिफिशियल इन्टेलिजेन्स हामीले जन्मायो कहाँबाट जन्मियो 16th century जुन चाहिँ इन्डस्ट्रियल रेभोल्युसन भयो द फर्स्ट एभर फ्याक्ट्री वाज एस्टाब्लिस्ड इन युके द फ्याक्ट्री वाज द फ्याक्ट्री अफ ह्यान्डलुम तर आज फ्याक्ट्री अफ रोबोटमा पुग्यो यति साह्रो अटोमेसन चाहिएको तपाईँलाई मैले आज खाना खानु पनि मैले एउटा रोबोटको हात चाहियो त्यो मलाई खाना स्पुनले खुवाइदियो अथवा रोबोटले कसरी खुवाइदियो अटोमेसन कतिसम्म चाहियो मलाई लिफ्ट चाहियो ठिक छ म चाहिँ नि मेरो भाडा मोल्ने पनि रोबोट चाहियो मेरो खेती गर्ने रोबोट चाहियो यति साह्रो रोबोटिक्समा पुग्ने हामी तपाईँ साइन्स फिक्सनहरू हेर्नुहोस् झन् दिमाग गोल हुन्छ तपाईँ यो पब्जीहरू खेल्नुहोस् मैले त पब्जी खेलेको छुइनँ यसो हेरेको सबै अटोमेसनको कुरा त अटोमेसन चाहिँ खतरनाक चिज भयो अटोमेसन बिना त हाम्रो लाइफ त यो थिएन मतलब सम्भव थिएन एन्ड यु क्यान्ट इमेजिन इभन विदाउट अटोमेसन अफ कोर्स वी हेभ बीन युज्ड टु दिस had it been we're in 13th century 12th century we would not be there 14th century we would not be unhappy if we don't have electricity if we don't have lifts with us if we don't have cars with us but then after industrial revolution there were too many aspects which were given by industrial revolution but then one of the aspects that was given to the industrial revolution is automation this automation is so significant for our everyday life and for our day-to-day life, for our normal life, entire luxurious, entire the world of entire luxury is dependent on automation, and of course, and it is comfort also. Like आज operation गर्दा हामीले काट्नु पर्दैन सबै मतलब ल्याप्रोस्कोपी भइहाल्छ अटोमेसनले धेरै फाइदा गरेको छ तर नोक्सानी पनि त गरेको छ गरिरहेको छ आज म्याक्सिमम मान्छे स्ट्रेस झेलिरहेको छ टेक्नोलोजीको गार्बेज मतलब गार्बेजले भरियो क्या हाम्रो मतलब सामानहरूले भरियो क्या हाम्रो वर्ल्ड यति सामान चाहियो क्या मलाई यति चिजहरू चाहियो मलाई मोबाइल फोन किन्छु मोबाइल फोनले भएन मलाई यो हेडफोन किन्नु पर्यो हैन हेडफोनले भएन ब्लुटुथ चाहियो मलाई कुनै के चाहियो यो चिजहरूले भरियो हामी क्या चिजले भरियो यो चिजले भरिँदा चाहिँ मैले मेरो लाइफको रियल एसेन्स नै गुमाउँदो रहेछु एकपल्ट बिटल्सको पायोनियर हैन अब लेजेन्डरी सिंगर जन लेनन सिंगर सङ राइटर हु वाज किल्ड बाई हिज ओन फ्यान जन लेननलाई एकपल्ट इन्टरभ्यूमा सोधेछ व्हाट इज लाइफ एन्ड ही आस्क्ड द इन्टरभ्यूअर स्माइलिङली ही आन्सर्ड द इन्टरभ्यूअर स्माइलिङली इन द आन्सर विथ अ क्वेसन ओन्ली he was asked a question and he answered in a question and he was asked what is life and John Lennon answered smilingly where is the life that we lost in living त हाम्रो जीवन चाहिँ कहाँ गयो त जिउने भागदौडी गर्दा ऱ्याट रेसमा पर्दा एट द लास्ट हामी त खरानी हुने हो जति नै गर्नुहोस् माटोमै मिल्ने हो यो पैसा रुपियाँ धन सम्पत्ति यो के रोबोटिक्स यो अटोमेटिक कार ड्राइभर पनि नचाहिने कार अब आउँछ इन्डियामा पनि अमेरिकामा 23% इम्प्लिमेन्ट भइसक्यो 23% अफ द अमेरिकन कार्स आर नट ह्याभिङ एनी ड्राइभर्स एज सच त त्यहाँनिर अनइम्प्लोइमेन्ट पनि भयो अटोमेसनले त अनइम्प्लोइमेन्ट जन्माउँछ हेर्नुहोस् आज डरलाग्दो अनइम्प्लोइमेन्टको अझै एउटा वेभ आउनेवाला छ दुनियाँमा अटोमेसन अझै बढ्दैछ अटोमेसन फेरि रोकिने होइन बिकज तपाईँको रुलर्सहरूले अटोमेसन तपाईँलाई अझै इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्नेवाला छ इम्पोज गर्नेवाला छ त हुँदाखेरि त डिभास्टेसन छ हाम्रो अगाडि त हामी राइटरले चाहिँ के अब जुनको कविता लेखिरहने नुनको कविता लेखिरहने कि यो नेचरको बारेमा पनि लेख्ने कि यो डिजास्टरको बारेमा पनि लेख्ने कि यो अपकमिङ डिजास्टरको बारेमा पनि लेख्ने ए जुन मेरो जस्तै ए जुन फरक छैन तिम्रो र मेरो कहानीमा भूपी शेरचनको कविता म तपाईँलाई सुनाइदिन्छु मेरो जस्तै ए जुन फरक छैन तिम्रो र मेरो कहानीमा मेरो जस्तै ए जुन फरक छैन तिम्रो र मेरो बानीमा फरक छैन तिम्रो र मेरो कहानीमा मेरो जस्तै ए जुन फरक छैन तिम्रो र मेरो कहानीमा भित्र भित्र रुँदै बाहिर बाहिर हाँस्ने बानीमा मेरो जस्तै ए जुन फरक छैन तिम्रो र मेरो कहानीमा फरक यति नै छ कि तिमी रुन्छौ र तिम्रो आँसु शीत बन्छ तिमी रुन्छौ र तिम्रो आँसु शीत बन्छ म रुन्छु र मेरो आँसु गीत बन्छ भूपी शेरचन यो कविता कहिलेसम्म लेख्न सक्नुहुन्छ तपाईँ टिल व्हेन सो वी आर just in front of a disaster. You can even experience. I'm not joking and I'm not kidding. I'm not here to kid, to joke with you. And this is a very serious subject matter. And I'm in the very first day of LitFest. I'm once again congratulating the entire team of this LitFest, the LitFest 2020. And in the very first day, I'm talking about this disaster. I'm sorry to do so. But then this is the fact in front of you. So my major issue of this talk, and I'm right now concluding, although I could not conclude within my own stipulated time, I'm concluding. So my conclusion is, let's start thinking green. Let's start thinking about our environment, our ecology, and let's start writing. Apart from love, mere love, abstract love, which even you cannot define. The teenagers have started writing lots of love poems. Of course, this is very good. I can see in the Instagram. You write about relationship problems, paradoxes, and all. Start writing about a leaf, small ant. Why don't you write about salamander, which is an extinct, about to be extinct species, which is found in Darjeeling, the only place in India where the salamanders are found, and salamanders minded are the living fossils. They're found in Latpanchar, Sitong, Jordhara. They're found in Suke Pokhari. They're found in Gorabari. This is the only place in India where salamanders are found, and they're silently there since the era of dinosaurs. कसै एकजनाले salamander माथि कविता लेख्नु भएन. They don't deserve your poetry, so beautiful poetry. They don't deserve your beautiful art. They deserve, but then we are not bothering. We're not bothering about nature. And if I don't write about salamander will not spare me. They will not write life for me. If I don't write poem for salamander will not write life for me. So my entire life is dependent on ecology and environment. And यस्तो होइन कि मैले कविता लेख्दैमा environmentलाई मैले बचाउन सक्छु. It is ultimately the question of the willpower, political willpower of the government, सत्ता, power. त मैले झकझकाउनु पर्छ मेरो पावरलाई. जुन पावरले मलाई रुल गरिरहेको छ, कमसेकम मैले अलिकति भए पनि बोले भने, मैले अलिकति भए पनि इनिसिएटिभ लिए भने पावर झकझकिन्छ. मैले जबसम्म आवाज उठाउँदिन, पावरले मलाई अझै एक्सप्लोइट गर्ने हो, नेचरलाई अझै एक्सप्लोइट गर्ने हो. त आउनुहोस् हामी सबै मिलेर, लेट्स रेज आवर भोइस that stop, put a break on your blind development. Do as much as is required. Don't go for plenty. Don't go for exaggeration of your exploitation. And let's write a new song for our world, for our existence, for our lives. We can even change this 2050 curves, Club of Rome's. We can change. Still now there is time. Wake up. wake up my people, wake up my writers, and let's think green. So this is all from my side. Thank you very much, my dear audience, and once again, thank you for this beautiful platform. I thank especially Mrs. Lekha Rai, the owner of the Twins Cafe, a beautiful books cafe. Please visit this cafe. I visited even in just a couple of days ago when they had an anniversary of that cafe, 1 year anniversary. This is a very beautiful place wherein you can be there. You can buy the books. You can even sit down there and read out the books which are freely given there. And you can even sip coffee, sip tea, and have gossip out there. You can even celebrate your birthdays, whatever it is. And it's really hats off. Like this is very real. Really, this is very beautiful initiative by Mrs. Lekha Rai, who has been running this cafe, the Twins, this book cafe out here in Salbari. And I'd like to thank even my host, Tenzing Doma. So I conclude out here. Thank you very much. Thank you, the audience, even.
Thank you so much, sir. And it was very much enlightening, informative. And as you said that somewhere you talked about the limit to the growth. Really, we need to develop, we need to grow, but somewhere we need to limit out there also.
Yes,
And sir, we have one question out here. So
fine.
I would like to give you, like, it's by Ma'am Indira Giri. So her question is like, to what extent candle burning contribute carbon generation, and what's its impact, and do you advocate to stop candle burning?
Indira ma'am, namaste. Thank you for this question. Very dangerous question, very challenging question. I'm not a chemical engineer, but then whatever I can tell is you can go for eco-friendly burning technology. Of course, candles were there since since centuries, since very initial period of human society. But then you can of course go for the opt for the eco-friendly technology which can enable you to avoid such kind of technology which ultimately takes you to certain place wherein like you are affecting the nature. Of course, even I burn the candle, like I can't help it. So until and unless this awareness comes, this consciousness comes in the minds of the government and in the minds of the power and in the minds of the people, and unless, because you see, power is not going to enlighten itself. So this is the people, and the history has proven itself that times and again the peoples have come forward, and it is the people who change this world, not the rulers, not the power. So people have to come ahead and they have to protest, they have to tell that you are not doing well, and they have to come in they have to take it to the streets, and they have to tell that this is not done. So they have to go for the alternative, of course. But then technically, I cannot comment on this. Very sincere apology. Thank you, Indira ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. And
Fine.
I very much agree with you, because it's not the system and the government only which can bring the change, but it is an individual from their effort, how they can bring a change. So a single drop of water, it can make a big ocean.
Fine.
And so it was very interactive session with you, though the time was very limited for this like green writing and irreplaceable necessity. And really the word, it is irreplaceable. The nature cannot be replaced by anything. So thank you so much.
But then, Tenzing, we have not yet started eco writing as such in our region.
Yes, sir.
Some of the Western countries, they have started writing this, that to a very limited extent. But then this is the demand of time. And for your kind information, I'd like to refer to two of my friends. One from Dr. Geeta Tripathi. She is doing awesome work in the field of research. Maybe she is also watching. I don't know, like whether she is here or not. Dr. Geeta Tripathi from Kathmandu. She has done awesome work in the field of research. But then, I would like to refer to Avinash Shrestha, who has written Karodo Surya Ko Andhakar in 1980s. This entire book is eco literature, eco poems book. And I'd even like to refer to Dev Chandra Subba, who is doing his research. He's from Sikkim University, who has been doing continuous research in eco writing. But then, as such movement, or as a trend, it has not started yet. So what I think is we should start thinking in this direction. Thank you.
Yes, and I think the talk, whatever we had today on green writing,
I
of
don't know. I
course,
don't
it
know
will
whether I
be
was
our,
able
yes,
to
sir.
justify the topic, and I'm sorry if I was lacking somewhere else, and even I was confused how to start and where to go. But then, like, I tried my best, and I don't know, and I'm sorry to the audience also if I was not able to communicate whatever I was trying to tell. But then at least we can start thinking on this. This is
Yes, sir.
what
Sure, sir.
my objective is. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. And it was
Thank you, ma'am.
a great evening to talk on this green writing and
Thank
irreplaceable necessity.
Thank you
Looking
very much.
forward for such talk, like, and it will be a small thing today, what we had done, but tomorrow we might be having a greater gatherings where we can bring this topic and in large we can discuss.
Exactly.
Yes. Thank
So
you so much.
we are leaving off the room right now.
I guess I'll give it to Miss Lekha if
Where
she
is
wants
Lekha,
to.
ma'am? Is she there? Lekha,
Yeah,
ma'am,
she's
is
here
there?
only.
So what
Lekha,
is
ma'am?
her order? We should not do anything else, apart from her order, because she's the organizer. So, Lekha, ma'am, are you there?
I'm there, sir. So can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you, ma'am.
Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I'm there, sir.
Yeah.
No,
So,
sir, it's okay. Like if you want questions, sir, is there any?
yeah. So,
Ma'am,
shall we terminate the session right now, ma'am?
sure, sir. Sir, you can.
Okay. So let the host, ma'am, Tenzing, ma'am, declare, because she's the host.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sure, sir.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, sir, for your time, taking out your valuable time
It
and
was my
spending
pleasure.
with
It was my
us.
pleasure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Okay.
thank you, Lekha ma'am, Prayas sir, and all our audience who was with us tonight. So I think we can call off this. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
And
Thank
good
you.
night,
Bye-bye.
sir.
Good
Okay,
night.
bye-bye.
Have a green night.
Sure, sir. Green night. Hello, ma'am.